tell us how far back you go with FVR.
Way back. I've been receiving letters from him since the age of 18.
18.
Yep. When I was a cadet at West Point, he would write me letters. So that's how far back.
Wow. Kadete ka pa lang.
Kadete pa lang. Plebe.
Did you knew each other before that or not?
No.
He just knew that there was a
Filipino
cadet
at West Point.
at West Point.
He would write me letters once in a while. And since then, every milestone in my life,
Really?
I would get a letter from the president.
Wow.
That's how far back.
What was the first letter?
Oh, it's about being proud, to be proud,
Uh-huh.
together with my parents
Uh-huh.
for having been chosen.
Mm-hmm.
I recall reading that letter. I still have goosebumps because I really felt the message of the boss that all the more that I should be proud because a son of a sari-sari store owner going to the States and taking up his studies in the U.S. It's just a significant milestone, almost impossible to achieve.
Premier military institution in the
In
world.
the world.
In the world. And you get a letter from, what was he then?
He was the chief of the constabulary,
Okay.
Philippine constabulary.
Baka nagpaparamdam na siya. Baka naman, di ba, pagbalik mo, huwag ka nang tumingin sa ibang serbisyo. Constabulary na.
Knowing him, I don't think so. It's just his style.
Talaga.
Right? And besides, I don't think the West Point Society of the Philippines was that active then. Hindi pa ganun ka-active.
Mhm.
But I think it's his way of ensuring that society is solid and continues to get new members. And maybe he was eyeing me as when I graduate, I'm
Oo. Oo.
automatic member.
But that wasn't even a posting at all. That you were in the same institution he graduated from a few decades earlier.
That's right. But what makes it even more special is there's only one Filipino that's like him that gets appointed to West Point. So I was it during that year.
That year, no?
1980.
Hanggang ngayon ba? Isa lang talaga per year, ano?
One lang.
So it's a small club.
I'm the 64th that graduated.
Okay.
We started in 1904, I think. So it's not every year.
Yeah. I think the war years stopped and whatever. Okay. So there was an ongoing correspondence with then Chief of the Constabulary. You entered the academy in
1980.
1980. So you were sort of insulated from what was happening here. There was a lot
Exactly.
of there was a lot of trouble. There was a lot
In
of
fact, I'm more familiar with what's happening with the U.S. It's because in 1981, I think, during the Iran hostage crisis, we had breakfast with the hostages after they were free.
they were flown
went
back.
to West Point.
Ay, oo nga, no?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, okay. Were the letters often? Did
Not
the
that
letters
often.
arrive
Maybe
at least one a year?
Once
at
a
least?
year,
Oo.
maybe
Oo.
twice.
Diba? So apparently he was checking on your progress,
Sir.
ano? And then were you aware if it was the same treatment that the other single?
I'm not aware. I'm not aware.
but
However, in my case, I've been. I wanted him to write me and ask me for something like a shirt, maybe or something, but it didn't come.
I'll get you a jacket.
Until I just maybe a couple of years before graduation, I got to talk with then one of his aides, Captain Eric Javier.
Okay. So we
Does
interviewed.
the boss want me to join the constabulary? It has to come from you. That's what General Javier said. Write the boss a letter, and I did. And that's when I got updates from him on what I also have to write the then Chief of Staff, Fabian Ver,
Fabian Ber.
because the decision is going to be from General FVR. I believe the boss then was already the
Vice Chief of Staff.
Vice Chief.
Oo.
So I
oo.
did.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
But the hard work had to come from, had to be done by the office of the boss. That's why I
okay.
finally got. Otherwise, I would have joined the army.
The Army, the natural tendency of the West Pointers.
I did not get to join officially the army, but the boss after graduation sent me back to the army. He had me take the Scout Ranger regular course for almost a year.
Talaga, FVR? Oh, okay. Okay. So you graduated what?
1984. 1984.
Okay.
And in
Balik ka kaagad.
Balik kaagad. And in September of 1984, I was with the army on his
Okay.
instructions.
Oo.
Together with two teams of constabulary rangers to take good care of me. I didn't know it then. So
What do you mean
I
two teams? Talaga?
Yeah.
What do you
Because to graduate from Scout Ranger, you have to go through a test mission, and you really have
mean?
to.
Yeah, right. An actual field mission, and sometimes people don't come back.
You know how that happened?
Yeah.
How he got to send me? So after graduation, I was still in my brand new PC uniform. We went to his office
The khaki
together
sa-
with two other lieutenants, or three. And we were in formation, and he would ask each one, the most senior. I'm like the fourth. Have you experienced an encounter already? Yes, sir. And he would get from the aide an envelope, and I would guess it's cash, right? So it went on to the next and the next, and all of them just experienced an encounter. I guess that's the reason why they were there in the first place, until he got to me. Oh, ito, hindi pa nakaka-encounter to. Ipadala sa Scout Ranger to. that's how I got to train with the Rangers.
Okay. So hindi pa man din may relasyon na.
Yeah.
No? There was a correspondence going, and even if it was the first time you were going to meet him, you knew each other pretty well.
In fact, I was reading this a month back, the book, I forgot the author, Power Relationships. That's exactly how the boss takes care of his relationship. It's really designed to be a powerful relationship, powerful and long-term relationship.
This wasn't no one night,
No.
one nighter. No, this was You knew then that it was going to be a long-term.
Not really, Lieutenant. You're not thinking that far.
The world is
Just,
all
just
ahead in front
ahead.
of you. But okay. So on hindsight, then, this was something, in preparation for what would be a long-term relationship. Okay, so he didn't want to take you in until you were properly groomed and trained.
In fact, I was already in, right? After I was the one who wrote him and signified my intention to join the constabulary. So I was already with the constabulary. I was already wearing the some brown belt of the constabulary, the old khaki.
Khaki, yeah.
While all the rest during during that visit to his office were in their fatigue uniforms.
Galing ang encounter.
So punta ko ngayon. So my assignment was my test. The training was in Tanay, but the test mission was in Davao.
Wow. NPAs.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so generally I asked how you got the assignment, but how did you get the assignment? You asked to be with the constabulary, but you became his aide.
Not an aide. I was taken in.
What
I
were
joined the
you-
Special Action Force
SAF.
after SAF.
After Scout
After
Ranger.
Scout Ranger.
Was it a dream job to be with him? West Point alumnus and all. Were you looking forward to it?
I was.
Talaga?
Yeah.
I mean, that first letter, did
That
you in?
made me realize not too many get to join. In fact, even at PMA, only the top bracket of every class gets to pick the constabulary. That's how it used to be. It's by merit. that you get to pick. And normally, the top echelon would pick the constabulary. So I would surmise that for the 15 years after I graduated, only the top graduates of PMA get to join the Philippine Constabulary.
Bakit? Why did the FVR persona, for example, have something to do with it, or was it really the institution, or what was it? Why?
In most of the people that I have a different reason, but most of the people I talk to, it's being able to develop also your better alternatives when you finally get out. It's just the constabulary, being close to the people. You have that option when you finally retire. Unlike with the army and the other branches of service, it's just purely
military. Lang talaga, no? Oh, okay. So, when did you eventually get into that small circle around him?
Well,
You became his aide when...
no, I wasn't an aide at all.
Oh, okay.
It was after Cavite. I was asked by Colonel Ferrer, Sendong Ferrer, if I wanted to join the intelligence service of the AFP.
EDSA. Okay.
EDSA.
Mhm.
Then,
Nasaan ka sa EDSA? Kung ganun.
I was the commander of Gate 1. I was the platoon leader of Gate 1.
Okay.
It's during the first night, my platoon of 28 men, we're the ones who relieved Major Sanny Rason then, together with 3 of his aides. Sila lang ang nakabantay doon sa Gate 1. And it was my platoon together with Lieutenant Jun Dulay,
Okay.
my assistant platoon leader. And we were the ones who first secured yung
Gate 1.
Gate
Yun
1. That's the
fronting
front.
EDSA.
That's
no?
the front.
Yeah, which
That's
is
the main
the
gate.
main gate. Right.
Main gate.
Right. Kayo rin yung sumalubog dun sa dagsa ng
Exactly.
tao.
He didn't know how to handle it. Dahil most of our active service is we were thinking na puro rebelde yung yung nasa kabilang side ng EDSA.
Pero ano ka na nun? You first lieutenant?
Second lieutenant.
Second pa lang?
Second.
Okay, so really fresh out of your ranger
Yep.
and SAF training. I mean, what was going on in your mind? I mean, Fidel Ramos, Chief of Staff, Vice Chief of Staff, Head of the Constabulary, withdraws his support, breaks away from a long time association with the then president at the time. What was a young lieutenant like you thinking?
Just like a young lieutenant today should think, it's you trust your commanders that they will give you legal orders and take it from there. So it was it was do or die for me during those times.
Were there any doubts that you would get out of it? I mean, ranged against you was supposed to be the larger force of, loyal forces to then President
No,
Marcos.
there was a strong doubt that we're going to get out of it alive, especially when the story came around. We were not able to get to see the boss in his office in Krame. But
You were at post.
But we would get word from senior officers who would go visit and look at how we're doing, and you would hear story about the boss saying, if we get out of this alive, I promise you guys I'll stop lighting my cigar. I heard that story there in Gate 1 during that time. And I think he did. I think that's when he stopped lighting his cigar. I don't know.
He would just chomp on it na lang after.
So that's where the doubt came from. Looks like we have a 50-50 chance of getting out of here alive.
Isipin mo.
Yeah.
He's known as Tabaco, and he says he will stop lighting it
If we get out of this
if we
alive.
get out of this alive. Oo nga, no? 50-50. But you did.
We did. We did.
relief. So did that vindicate, I guess, inside the trust and confidence of a young lieutenant to his superior, his commanding officer?
I guess you can say that, but there's no need for vindication. The commitment was there from the
From the
get-go.
very beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. Sandali lang. So, so isolated ka naman. Hindi naman. I was going to ask if you were privy to some of his thinking prior to breaking away and withdrawing the sword.
Not at all.
No, you were
During that
you were-
time,
yeah, none. Okay. But did it surprise you that he would do something like that? Nagulat ka ba?
I was kind of surprised,
Mhm.
but even working with the aides, talking with the aides, promotions not being given to those deserving officers, you can already hear the grumbling.
Mhm.
So it wasn't really that much of a surprise when it finally came.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, when he did what he did, and you guys just follow the orders.
Sorry.
Diba? Stay on your post. General Order Number 1. Diba?
But we were going to go
Until
down
really-
fighting.
Oh.
If there was doubt that we
Mm.
maybe doubt that we're
Mm.
going to get out of it alive,
Mhm.
but we were going to go down fighting.
Mhm. Mhm. Succeeded, and I guess was it just a few minutes after Mrs. Aquino was sworn in, she named him Chief of Staff of the new Armed Forces of the Philippines. Where were you posted then?
From SAF,
Oo.
I was taken by then Captain Sammy Pagdilaw, and we
Oh,
were the
okay.
first ones that got out of SAF and joined the local command. Then we were stationed in Tagaytay.
Tagaytay. Oh, okay. Throughout the ilan ba?
I was there for
7
about a
coups?
year.
Okay.
About a year.
So
Then I
isang-
joined the ISAF in 1988.
88. So you
Sendong Ferrer was there ahead of me.
Oo nga. Oo. Teka, sandali lang. Kung nasa ISAF ka, you were providing some very critical information about the coup attempts. Were you monitoring that?
I was in fact in the center of the very unit assigned
Mhm.
to go after the coup plotters during those times.
Mm.
I was in MiG-21, the
Oh, wow.
signal intelligence unit of
Yeah.
ISAF.
Yeah. Which eventually, oo nga, no?
That's
Sige.
why
This is where you are now. Okay. So the training, even though you were posted with him, the training was continuing. Di ba? Okay. Andali lang. And where was he then? He Chief of Staff?
it became S&D.
S&D? O nasaan ka na ba sa kanya nung S&D? Kailan ka nag-aid? Hindi ka
Nope,
na nag-aid?
never in
Never,
aid.
no? Never aid. Ano?
Never in
Just
aid. Always
really-
intelligence.
Always in the intelligence unit that was, I guess, supporting
And he
him.
knew.
Mm.
Because we would get feedbacks from him. Although it's very seldom.
Mm.
But once in a while you get a feedback that you need to focus on this more.
However, share that with me. Share that with us. One example of, he would send you feedback and
We would
he would-
have country studies, and he would come back with this HWI telling us to read more of Asia Week. That I cannot forget. That's why I started reading
Mhm.
Asia Week. That's how I found out that it was very close with the ASEAN leaders,
Mhm. Mhm.
Suharto,
Mm-mm.
the Mrs.
Contemporaries niya. Yeah. Right.
Things like that. But
But
I guess
HUI. Did you-
HWI, handwritten instructions.
Okay.
It's a handwritten notes.
The marginal.
The marginal notes.
Okay, the marginal notes in red.
In red.
Okay.
Always in red.
Oh, we always looked out for that also whenever.
Yeah, like I said, those instructions came very far in between.
Mhm.
So General Ferrer, being my senior, who's worked with the boss as an aide,
Mhm.
he's the one who's able to tell us, fill in the gaps.
Mm, mhm.
Like it's not the boss's style really to give you specific. You have to be able to read between the lines.
Mhm.
and you have to be able to observe. There's not much articulation on what needs to be done.
Implied, I think, is the term that most of you guys,
I guess you can say that.
diba? Isang tingin, nagkaintindihan, or even a gesture or something.
That's one thing I did. So since I'm not to expect too many words or HWI from the boss, I need to be a good observer and listener, and that's what I did. That's how I learned. That's how he became my mentor, just by me observing and listening.
But he was an intelligence man too.
Yeah, exactly.
Diba?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, you were learning from masterclass.
Yeah, exactly.
Talaga.
In fact, the closest that I ever got to learning directly from him, and it's not so much words were exchanged. This one I cannot forget. During the official visit to Germany,
Okay.
I believe I was already with PSG then. He was already president, and we visited Bonn, Germany. It was an official visit, so it's not a state visit. And he was staying in this well-curated hotel atop a mountain, straddling the Rhine River. And about
Strategic.
right around midnight, he came into his room. I was then the designated billet officer in charge of the presidential suite and the tactical operations center. So I led him to his room, his suite. He immediately sat down to his working desk and asked me, "Nap, do we have brandy?" Yes, sir. Because I already inspected the minibar. So I opened the Hennessy XO, I know his brand, and took a glass of brandy and sat it beside him. And he said, "Get the glass, drink with me."
Ooh.
So I took a glass, sat beside him, and I poured us the drink. And for what seemed like an eternity, I was just there, right? Well, in hindsight, maybe it lasted about 30 minutes. I was just looking at what he was doing. He was writing notes on his ledger. And I was even telling myself, this is what more work ethics could you ask for, right? I was admiring him. He's not looking at me. He's working. And with the exhilarating view of River Rhine as a backdrop.
Rhine, yeah.
It's just, I can't forget that image.
Terrific.
So that's so many things came through my mind in that 30 minutes, and one of them is if this is not a personification of West Point's motto of duty, honor, country, working non-stop the whole day, and it's way past midnight, still working. I don't know what is.
I don't know what is.
This is so you things like that. It's
Tell me about that work ethic. Tell me about that work ethic.
well,
How it impressed you.
the words I've heard from former aides are slave driver, work till you drop. But it's not. Maybe it's original FVR. But nowadays, you get to be exposed to the private sector. You also get to see leaders who work that way, who work hard. It's just so happened that this particular leader we're talking about is working for his country and nothing more.
Yeah. I guess it's an ingredient of that very small group of people who are destined at the top. Ganun ba yun?
Maybe it's destined, but using your words, I think we were molded. Those letters, to my mind now, in retrospect, are intended to mold me into what I finally became.
Secretary of National Defense. Did you ever expect him to run? To to seek the presidency? I mean, from your neck of the woods.
You know what? It's just totally unpredictable. So he was even more unpredictable when Sendong Ferrer, we were already together at PSG, explaining to me his experiences. But in 1991, no, I wasn't expecting he was going to run. But then again, like I said, it's very unpredictable, so I wasn't surprised. I had this experience when my team captured then Colonel Vic Batak in Doña Josefa Apartments. Immediately after the arrest, being the Secretary of National Defense, the aide called me, Nap, the boss is coming to your office. So I told my group commander. My group commander then was now the ICT Secretary, Eli Rio. I said that the Secretary of National Defense is wants to be briefed regarding the operations. So I'm the only one that is familiar with. And when the boss saw me as he entered the gates of ISAF, so I welcomed him. And the first thing he told me is, Nap, prepare for lunch.
Right.
And this is a true story.
Okay.
So and he asked how many is going to join us in the conference. It was maybe about 12 of us, to include your staff. Okay. So he reached into his pocket, gave me 200 pesos. That was in 1991. Even then, 200 pesos would not even be enough to feed like 4 people.
Pang offset lang naman hindi naman pang
No, that's the intention is really for the full lunch. So I had to talk to Colonel Rio. Okay, you could ask Secretary Rio now, because I gave him the 200 pesos.
Nagulat ka ba na Ilocano yung boss?
No,
But that was him.
That was him.
Diba?
That was him.
At least.
And we enjoyed the lunch of rice, sardines, and nilagang saging.
But that was him also, no? Very Spartan living, very Spartan, no? The life of a soldier, I guess.
Sure. Sure.
So nakakagulat pa ba yun? Hindi
na. But if there's one thing that I really learned so well, is exactly that, being Spartan. It's not about living a comfortable life in the future for our younger generation. I would tell them, it's not about earning money. It's being able to manage what you have. Managing your expectations, managing your needs. And that's...
And resources.
200
pesos and all. So you got... He ran for the presidency.
I was in ISAF then.
Nasa ISAF kayo nun. Tumulong ba kayo?
Can we not? Do we have the option not to? But again, he's so professional, right? There were no direct requests or it has to be voluntary on our part.
Yeah. So you did?
You did.
So kandidato mo siya?
Of course.
Oo naman.
Of course.
Wasn't it challenging? No party, no network, very little resources, and the get-go?
I wouldn't know, because I wasn't really involved in the day-to-day campaign. But I would imagine it was extremely difficult during the early stages.
From your end, word of mouth. Uy, boto pa ba tayo ng iba? Or what did you do?
In the military, there's no question. There's only one candidate, even during that time.
Siya lang talaga. Talaga?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Di ba meron Didn't Speaker Mitra and Ambassador Cojuangco have their own loyal supporters?
Well, those in the know like us, Ambassador Cojuangco is not a problem, because we know they're in speaking terms.
And then you were assigned to PSG.
Assigned with PSG.
Pero Intel pa rin.
Intel pa rin.
Okay, the Intel group. Were you expecting that assignment?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, after the
talaga?
victory, who else?
Diba?
When I got the call from Sunny Razon, prepare. I didn't even have to tell me what for.
You
Prepare
knew
to- yeah,
exactly
I was-
where
we
you
were
were
going to
going
PSG.
to. What you were going to. What exactly were the duties?
With
for
PSG,
Oh,
intelligence work. So
no,
basically, it's the same.
everything way before it happens.
It's more than what you would expect from a Secret Service intelligence man.
Mhm.
Because you're also doing personal requirements only for the boss, not for any other president.
Siya lang.
Siya yung sa kanya lang yung
Diba?
may
Yun
mga
lang
extra
yung-
ginagawa niya. Like
Okay. Okay.
Not messing with the cigar that he left in his car, fermenting overnight. You're not supposed to touch that.
Oh my gosh.
And there's so many others.
People who had stars on their...
Yes. Yes.
And you were...
I was a major. I was a major.
Yun. Isang puto pa lang yun. And the son, di ba? At that time, it was the son.
So basically, the main task is to ensure that the president is not caught by surprise
Mhm.
anywhere.
Mhm. But to my understanding, it was also providing him with not just military or national security, but it was everything. Di
The
ba?
whole caboodle, yeah.
Economics,
Yep,
social,
everything. Yeah.
cultural, and di ba? Yung
Even,
yung himay di ba?
Even approval of treasure hunting permits.
OP rin yun di ba?
It's the president.
The president,
Only the president.
Yeah,
But the president won't sign it unless it contains the countersign of the chief intelligence of PSG.
Oh,
The
kailangan.
most important signatures. G2 PSG, then it's already the president.
And the president, oh my gosh, talaga. And wait, so tell me how you got involved with Bojinka.
Okay. Colonel Ferrero was still the G2 PSG, and I was a designated detail leader for the visiting head of state, Bill Clinton.
Mhm.
Right, and I think the only maybe because I'm a West Pointer, but more than that, I think the PSG leadership then, headed by General Alves,
Mm.
they would rather keep their distance because the U.S. Secret Service advance. They are so demanding,
Mm.
right? So they would like to maintain a distance. So there's a certain degree of deniability, maybe not being able to provide all the requests. So I was appointed as a detail leader. So I was the one briefing, the only one dealing with the Secret Service.
Secret Service, yeah.
So going towards that, in preparation for that, there was just this incident in Manila Police Department and MPD.
Mm.
That there's like a fire.
There was a fire,
in
yeah.
Doña Josefa. So all the intelligence units were already informed to be there, and I was just informed by General Son by just my being the detail leader
Yeah.
for incoming. It may have a relation, it may not, but the same. I got the call way past midnight, maybe about 2 o'clock in the morning, to proceed to Doña Josefa. So that's how I got involved.
Mm.
So when we saw the paraphernalias, the IED components, that's when the PSG took over.
That was a lot of red flags
Yes,
there. No?
That's when we took over
Okay.
from the police.
Uh-huh.
There was a PSG investigation already.
Mhm. Mhm. And then there was a lot of your signal intelligence communication skill.
It
came
was not
into
put
play.
into use during this investigation with
talaga?
Yusef. Yeah, Ours is more of a cooperation with the Central Intelligence Agency and
Okay.
the FBI, Joint Terrorist Task Force. So it was more of a coordinative undertaking. But we got the aid of Yusef first, Murad.
Murad.
He was in our custody for the longest time before we turned him over to the U.S.
To the
government.
US, yeah.
That's where we most of the questions, missing link came from. What they cannot get from Murad, they were getting from us because we got all those questions, all those answers way before.
Way before.
We turned them over to him.
Oh,
To them.
wow. But yeah, that was what, an attempt against the Pope. Tama ba?
It
Or
was an attempt against the Pope,
and
and
then
you
the-
know what the plan was? They're going to rent I guess an aircraft, small aircraft, and drop pipe bombs along the Pope's route.
parang World War I.
Not just World War One, because during the interrogation with us, Murad said he's a pilot. He's going to continue training in the U.S. and his mission is to bomb the Langley headquarters. This was in 1995,
6 years before.
6 years before.
So yun na yung actually, they said this was the blueprint for 9/11. Should have learned.
Not only that, that was 9/11, 1993, 2 years before that.
World Trade.
World Trade,
Yeah.
Yusef already attempted using a Ryder truck laden with the bombs.
Hindi na natuto.
Hindi lang tumba.
Okay. Your role in the intelligence function of PSG actually. So all state visits,
Oh, yeah.
di ba?
Yep.
Sa inyo yun. So coordination. How strict was FVR with that kind of coordination,
During
that
that-
kind of collaboration with your counterparts?
He never gets involved, seldom gets involved.
Talaga?
He trusts us so much, I guess. Pinababayaan lang niya sa amin.
Pero ang dami.
Huh?
Kasi he himself would, di ba? He himself would travel and then
Oh, well, it's-
reciprocal.
I thought you were referring to state visitors. When we travel,
Both.
that's a different story altogether. It's,
Okay. Sige.
That's when you have to work till you drop.
Oh, yun.
It's,
Tell me about that.
Well, one thing that I can't forget is getting vertigo after 3 nights of continuous no sleep.
Oh my.
So
72-hour shift.
So that's like during the last earthquake, I was in my office, 12th floor, and started shaking. I thought I was experiencing the FVR era vertigo. That's how you really. At least that's how I remember it. It's like parang lumilindol because due to lack of sleep.
Bakit work till you drop? What was it? What was the
Because first-
workload like?
Because at first, because he would like to save on the expenses, right? He only travels with a very small group. Even the security is the smallest, I think, in the world. So you will not be limited to doing security work. You're also doing administrative. You're also doing office, like when I was the billet officer. Right? You also carry the luggage.
Porter.
So that's
Multi-role.
you can't sleep until he is in bed. And you have to be up before he is up in the morning. And how many hours does he sleep?
Oh my gosh. Nabanggit mo kanina, bigla akong naalala yung mga ibang na-assign kay FVR. And it's the use of technology. He just really loved gobbling up using the latest And this was a time when
It's practically non-existent. Yeah.
di ba? Share with us a few vignettes.
Well, it was
on-
more of we're getting the cue from Alex Arevalo.
Okay.
He is the real go-to guy when it comes to IT. I remember he's the one who introduced me to Apple. Macintosh.
Mm.
And we were just using Windows then.
Mhm.
So we had our own
The-
effort with
yeah.
the military and the police.
Mm.
We have the Office of the President very much advanced when it comes to technology.
Mm.
So we get during our meetings with the exchanges with the military and the police, we somehow provided them the impetus.
Mhm.
You guys have to follow suit, otherwise you're going to be left behind. But how can you communicate with the president when he's abroad? And
Right.
so you have to improve your IT infrastructure as well.
Mhm.
And I think to a great extent we were able to influence.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, because I mean, trip here, trip there, out of town here, out of town there, and yet the photos had to be sent. Di ba?
Yes,
The
and the same
news
with us.
articles. had to be-
Communications have to be signed. The
Mhm.
communications have. It's just like you never left PSG. That's how I remember it.
Mhm. So mobile ano talaga? Mobile Malacanang,
Mobile
mobile
Malacanang.
office.
Even PSG is mobile PSG.
Oo nga. Di ba? And how did that impact on you? How did that influence you?
Well, I started off with my interest in IT started when I was in ISAF.
Okay.
Right?
Mhm.
It's 1997, 98. Then it was carried over, and I was with PSG.
Mhm.
With once in a while, we get to visit the Office of the President, and you get to see the latest
The
technology.
gadgets and
Not just gadgets. They're really. That's how I. That's what I got
Oh.
as I went on my own. It's not having the latest.
Mm.
It's having in your possession what really works.
Mm.
Otherwise, you'd be spending tons of money for something that's a white elephant.
na hindi mo naman
So, ito
masusulit.
yung ginagamit natin.
Oo.
Bibili natin yung kung ano yung kailangan.
Okay. Okay. 96. So hanggang dun sa APEC. Naabutan mo pa ba yung APEC?
Yeah, yeah,
Manila?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, how did you manage that? That was what? 19, 20 visiting heads of heads of state. Heads of,
I guess that's where I got my. They were able to manage it quite well, given the very powerful team.
Mhm.
Ambassador Painor,
Mhm.
Colonel Ferrer, General Rason,
Mhm.
Boying Alarcio, and Tony Alcantara. We did it so well. We learned the ropes very well.
Mhm.
That it became part of us. Pope's visit was just, it's not a walk in the park, but
Mhm.
was very
Mhm.
difficult, challenging.
But that came
task.
earlier, 95 yun
That
eh,
came
di ba?
earlier.
Mhm. Mhm.
All the other visits.
Key lessons learned then while you were under his aegis, under FVR's ano.
First is, like I said, the most important that I would share with my kids is being contented with what you have.
Mhm.
And to be contented, you should know how to manage your resources,
Mhm.
your finances.
Mhm.
So that's the first thing. Because the earning part is just secondary to me if you can manage it, what you have properly. So
It will
that's
come.
one. And second is work ethics. Nothing can beat that. Right? You don't stand from your work desk until the job is done.
Till it's done.
And it's not just done, it has to be done very well.
Oh. Okay, so that's the DNA.
That's the DNA, I would think. Yes, being a West Pointer, duty, honor country is in my DNA.
Mhm.
And aside from that, the FBR is also in my DNA.
Mhm. So tama yung sinabi ng everyone whom we've spoken with. So the posting with FBR is also the University of Fidel V. Ramos.
What's the acronym? University.
UFBR.
UFBR. Exactly. But one thing that's not, maybe they did not say is seldom do you get, it's not like having a professor actually telling you
Mhm.
how things should be done.
Mhm.
It's a different kind of class, if you can call it that.
Mhm.
It's more of, it came from him. Do as I do, not as I say. So you observe,
Mhm.
and because you get to learn so much
Mhm.
just by observing.
Mhm. Yeah, you're right. That's one of the first things you said that you learned from him. Learn to observe.
Because you serve the HWIs,
Uh-huh.
the words of wisdom,
Mhm.
they come too far in between,
Mm.
if ever.
Oh, oh,
So you really have to observe.
okay.
But being a good observant as I am, I think I was able to gain so much.
Mhm.
Um,
Tell me about CSW. Most everyone has
Oh.
also.
It's something automatic. I even have it in my file. I can show you. Completed staff work.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's to this day. We would have units in the PNP, my former organization, that suffers with that very problem, not being able to grasp what CSW really means. That's why you get jobs that are half cooked,
Mhm.
right? Until we share with them what the CSW, the file exactly from the boss with this HWI. It defines step by step what needs to be done to have a completed staff work.
Wow.
And it spells the difference. In ASEAN, that's the number one thing that I tell the commanders from the outset. It has to be CSW before we meet. And it's not going to be long because our meetings will not be more than an hour.
Mhm.
So it's going to be a useless meeting
Mhm.
if CSW was not practiced by everyone.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's
Everybody.
completed staff work.
Everybody comes in prepared. Wow. Okay. And so you were posted. You stayed on up to 96.
96,
and
then I went transferred to Manila Police District
Ah,
together
okay.
with Sunny Rason.
So sinama ka?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Hindi na kami naghiwalay from
And then,
there.
and then I guess intelligence din.
Yep.
Okay. And well, FVR eventually ended his term in '98. How did you stay connected? How did you stay in touch?
Actually, it's more coming from the initiative was from him.
Oh.
Still through the letter.
Ganun
When I
pa
got
rin.
promoted to a senior superintendent, when I was appointed as a provincial director of Nueva Ecija,
Mm.
he would write me, one time I remember the letter, Tiger Nap. Then I'm reminded of the many PGA golfers that visited us. And is it because I'm a good golfer? That's why he called me, he referred to me as Tiger Nap. Because there's this one story.
Mhm.
I think the night before is already in a bad mood that nobody wanted to play with him the following day. So I was called by from Sunny Rason to Sendong Ferrer to General Alves that I will be playing with the president. Right. So I would say I'm about handicap 18 or 20 during that time. So pretty good. And so I welcomed the president at the other side of Pasig.
Mhm.
And we teed off, and then
So,
true enough,
compound.
I saw him with this cigar
Mhm.
going from left to right of his mouth. It's an indicator that he's in a bad mood. And so the first thing he told me was, go ahead, tumira ka na nap. So I set up my ball. It was an easy 150 yards to cross. For some reason, my knees were shaking. Right? So first time I'm playing with the president.
Oh.
He's in a bad mood. But I've done this 1,000 times, so let's hit. So long story short, after 3 balls, they all fell into the Pasig River, failed to cross. And then he, without saying anything, he just set up his own ball and he hit. And he said, let's go. So after, that's in the morning, so after 9 rounds of golf, he told me, while signing the scorecard, so I scored badly. He said, oh, you practice some more. Yes, sir. And I did. So the next time I got to play with him was together with Wilson Victoria after 6 months.
Mhm.
And this one is in the afternoon. I was already handicapped 2 in Malacanang
Oh.
during that time.
Mhm.
So we were driving him and beating him in every hole. So after 9 holes, I think not even 9 holes. I think we stopped at 7.
Mhm.
I think the president is going somewhere, or he's just not, just doesn't feel well playing with a couple of hustlers. And while signing the scorecard, this time, it's a total opposite of what he said the first time I played with him. Because he was saying, wala na kayong ginawang dalawa kundi mag-golf, ano?
Kontra nga, ano?
Wala kang paglagyan.
Walang tama.
Walang tama.
Sala sa init, sala sa lamig. Okay. Oh, that's nice. So you've kept in touch.
Yeah.
You know? And you stayed on in the service up to when?
I retired last year.
Ito lang, ano? Recently lang. Ano?
CIO of the
Last year.
Philippine National Police.
Okay. Okay.
After the stint in the ASEAN.
Ah, yeah, right. That one. Nakita ko naman kung paano kayo mag-interact, but just, ano, what are the exchanges like when you do meet post-presidency? Lokohan pa rin.
It's mostly the same.
Mhm.
Yun talaga na. But every opportunity, you get to treasure that. And because what I am today, I owe to him. I owe him.
Oh,
Yes. Otherwise, it's not in my DNA.
okay. Okay. His mentor, role model for you, maybe a father figure too?
No, no. You can say that. Because my dad passed away in 85, and in 1984, that's the one thing that my dad could not forget. As after the EDSA Revolution,
Mm-hmm.
The president was in the office of the PIO
Mhm.
with Colonel Andres Andiboy, San Andres.
Mhm.
And my dad was there with me. So they were waiting outside the EDSA.
Mhm.
They were ready together with the people trying to protect us from the inside.
Mhm.
So after everything was done, so I had my dad tag along,
Mhm.
and I introduced him to the president. And my dad could not forget the next time that we met, they met again, the president remembered the name. Oh, Mr. TAAS. And we were not even, I wasn't even close by, my dad. I was like 3 days later, and they got the chance to meet again. That's what I got from the president. It's one thing I learned. Remember in Bonn, in that hotel,
Mhm.
when he was working on
Mhm.
his desk,
Mhm.
he was writing in the margins the names, German names. So I wasn't able to ask him that. I guess they were the names of the people he met the day, during the day,
Yeah. Mhm.
just to ensure that he does not forget each one. I've been doing that ever since.
Oh, wow. Mhm. Mhm. Terrific. Ang dami. Ang daming, I mean, the little things that you've picked up from the exposure.
It's just, I'm not kidding when I say that I owe him everything.
What do you want people to remember of him as a public servant, as president? A public servant.
Well, very difficult to make them realize, much more remember. It's just how do you explain somebody who will really every waking hour is for the country? It's just not common. It's not just you can't find that in anyone, in any leader. The closest is that I could name some, but not really that close. Not like FVR. It's the service comes from the heart. It's also part of his DNA. So it's natural. I guess you can say he does not know anything else but to serve.
Oh, okay. Okay. What were the sacrifices made serving under him, family time, social interaction. I mean, what was the cost for working under him?
Not so much from me because
Paano naman?
because of, like I said, I'm a good observer.
Mhm.
I can see how he manages time. I guess even how he deals with the family
Mhm.
is I learned from that.
Man.
Time management is the key.
Mhm.
There's really time for he has time for everything. Time for exercise,
Mhm.
time to sign documents.
Mhm. Mhm.
So if you're able to embrace that,
Mhm.
then there's not much sacrifice. You get to do everything else.
Right. Very nice. Okay. Benefit of hindsight, given everything you've gone through, would you do it all over?
I think so. I wouldn't do anything else because I won't be here where I'm at today
Mhm.
if not from at 18 years old corresponding with this man,
Uh-huh.
and every step of the way you learn from him.
Mhm.
Couldn't even see look, not even. I've been trying to look for negatives because he said try to be funny. I couldn't even think of anything negative except some decisions in government, and we are not in a position to question that.
Mhm.
And that's what I would get from General Ferrer when I would ask, why did the president do this despite our report? Well, the only answer I get is, not only God works in mysterious ways. I can't recall of anything negative that
Mhm.
I saw him do.
Okay. I'll end it there. Thank you very much.
Perfect.